Hello, everyone, and welcome to the World Explorer podcast. This is the podcast where we take a random prompt and we make an entire world out of it in under an hour. It's amazing! And with me, as always, is joined Isaac, who is the one who gives us these wonderful prompts. Also, I'm Kate.
Nightmare fuel.
More nightmare fuel? We did nightmare fog recently.
Yeah, we were already doing nightmares and dreams and stuff. Okay, so today we're world building a I was going with maybe another generic fantasy world setup, except what this one is, what I had in my mind. I've had this written down on my list for a while now. Is a flat world. It is a flat world with like edges to it that you can fall off of. However, it has two different sides. There is like a landmass on top, and there's a landmass on the bottom. And something I was thinking was top side is daytime, and the bottom rules the night.
Oh, so no rotation, which I guess makes sense if you're flat.
No rotation in this world. We've got the day at the top and night at the bottom, and gravity does still pull you towards like the center, like in our world. It's just that it's flat.
How thick is this Earth mass? Can you dig to China, as the expression goes?
I think you could, but it would be stupid difficult because it would take a very, very long time. But in this world, it could be done.
It probably has been, quick access between the two.
Or maybe there's like a void pocket in the middle of it where gravity just sort of becomes neutral, where you neither fall in any direction. You just sort of float and you're stuck there, so no one does it.
That's an easy fix, though. Just do what astronauts do. You get rockets, or you get a ladder, and you just pull yourself along.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. We'll say there's no pocket. You can just travel between the different sides, but maybe there's just very few tunnels or anything.
Isaac, I kind of like the pocket because then it explains the gravity switch better. Like, this is train, and then you switch over instead of, it just happening randomly.
Yeah. Wonder what it feels like when you're just walking around the world. Maybe it doesn't feel like any kind of like in our world. I don't know.
Now, I guess so are the edges still connected then around the world, or do we now have two sheets with a gap in between? So we have, two flat worlds. With a no gravity zone.
I think I like the idea of two sheets with a gap in between. Because it somewhat separates these two.
Yeah.
I like the idea of them being somewhat separated and maybe a little bit harder to travel between. Because then you can get some fun stories where somebody from the night side comes over to the day side, and it's like, what is this bright thing in the sky?
Yeah. I was also thinking, could we have the in-betweeners who live in the no gravity zone?
They live in dusk and dawn.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess I don't know how that would go. I'm trying to think. So you have the sun there and you have the moon there. But if you're in between, is it just total darkness 24/7? Like you're in a cave because both the sun and moon are blocked? I guess you have stars at the edges, but it'd be weird.
I'd say maybe the light sort of seeps in and you have this dim orangish light, orangey red light that comes in. And where the light from the moon and the light from the sun meet each other. Moon puts off its own light in this world. Because otherwise you couldn't see it.
Then. But yes, I agree. The moon should be like a mini star. It can't reflect the sun because the sun's on the other side. So is that what it is? We just have a big star and a mini star?
I guess. One of them's except the moon, I'd say it's just a glowing rock.
Okay.
I'd say it still stays a rock. Still stays a giant meteor, basically.
Okay, so heating-wise, the night area is, cold.
Yeah, the night area would be cool. Day area would be very warm. What?
It's cold. Antarctica and the Arctics, the reason why they're covered in ice is because the sun rarely reaches them.
Yeah.
So one half is Arctic and the other half is tropics. And then you have the zone where there's no gravity, so I don't know how that works. I don't know what temperature it would be
Okay,
there.
so I would say that do we want the night side to be Arctic, or do we want it to just be cool? Like maybe the moon still puts off enough heat. It is creating light, so it's clearly got energy like the sun does. Maybe it does still put off heat, just maybe not quite as much as the sun does. Or maybe it does put off as much as the sun does. I don't know. We can do whatever we want. We're
That's
world
fair.
building.
That's true. That's true. I like the idea of it putting off some heat, but I kind of like the idea of one area being tropic and the other area being not tropic. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it should be icy. We've done ice enough, and ice is often boring.
That's
So
well, not always.
I think that not always. I mean, we built a whole world out of ice, and it was awesome.
Yeah, I was about
But
to say. I thought the little ice cute guys were cute.
But it is less interesting, and it is harder to work with and come up with unique ideas when you're making everything out of ice, and then you got to come up with like food sources and all this different stuff. I think that we should just make it a cooler location,
Okay. Yeah.
and maybe it's like somebody who is used to the tropical weather might come in needing a jacket.
Can I vote something in?
Sure,
Can this
whatever it is, I will oppose it. So we're stuck in a tied vote.
Oh dear. Can we have like this be a true flat world? Like there are no mountains or hills you can see from one end to the other if there's nothing blocking your view?
Maybe. I mean, I actually envisioned this when I first came up with this idea. Was actually one mountain on each side, just like spiking dramatically from each one, and I had it looking really cool in my mind. But no, we can make it flat, I guess. Like,
I mean, if you
this
want
could be a
one
thing where maybe
mountain at the edge and each area has like their mountaintop where like their rulers or something live, I'm cool with that. But I want for the most part, if you stand at the bottom of that mountain and look in the opposite direction, you can see the other end, or like 800 houses blocking your view. But
Yeah, I like that. I'm down with that.
in fact, I think it'd be
there's
cool.
also maybe like small hills. Would there be like any like small hills?
No, they don't.
No
they,
small
they don't
hills
know.
even?
Hills is not a word in this area.
It's
They don't know what a hill is.
100% flat.
Oh yeah, it's dead, flat. Water might become an issue, but I think that could be fun to work with. Because you don't have like water's going anywhere. Water kind of just settles. I guess if you get like an even dusting of rain, you're fine. So you just have to. The rain has to be like the rain has to be like a sprinkler system, and it just goes over.
Oh, here's the thing. It would rain a lot. If they had rain where it evaporates and falls out and everything, it would be raining probably a lot more in the tropical side than the day side than the night side.
That's
because it's so much hotter.
That's true.
And the night side, maybe the night side, one of the differences is, well, I don't know. Never mind.
Yeah, I don't know how rain works. I don't know why. I had like this thing in my head of a cloud. It's just one cloud for the whole, or like I don't know, there's like one cloud that goes all the way across widthwise, and just kind of sprinkler systems its way along to one end, and then kind of flips and goes to the other side, and flips up, and it just goes in a continual circle around the world, just constantly watering.
Okay, so if the cloud rains stuff down, where does the cloud get its water from?
Well, it could still be precipitation. It's just, for some reason, probably due to flat earthing, all of it is just gathered into this one cloud, and it has the ability to absorb it all, the precipitation as it goes. Or, okay.
Is there a way that we can utilize the center of the world with this?
I don't know. I was thinking, what if the rain was a problem or something that they had, and so they created a vacuum for the precipitation? And all it does is it gathers the precipitation before it can form into clouds, and then produces it as rain, and evenly distributes it to stop flooding.
Huh. I mean, they would have to start off with a flooded world at that point. But if the world is completely flat, water either it gets like absorbed into the earth and everything becomes mud, or it just runs off the side.
Yeah.
I don't think flooding is a problem. muddy soil, that might be a problem.
No,
It's
wait,
just
wait, wait,
constant
wait,
mud
wait.
everywhere.
Okay,
But
okay. New idea. So, in the beginning of this world, the center was actually just their water. This caused issues for those who wanted to live in like the middle of the flat area on either side because they couldn't get to the water like the edges. So they only lived near the edges until a marvelous invention was created that allowed all the water to be turned into precipitation and rain and allowed a cloud to come through and constantly keep everything evenly watered. So not only was now the void opened up so the two sides could connect to each other and interact, but now they had like the water problem solved for the center area so they could get water and they could continue moving inland into the center of the two islands.
no, what happened was this invention that created the clouds and took the water and turned water into clouds was then carved and made from the two mountains, the one on each side, and they acted as machines that would suck the water from the center of the earth and then expel it into the sky in a gaseous form. Maybe they're actually volcanoes. Maybe that's part of it. Is the mountains are actually volcanoes,
Okay.
and but they're not active, and so all the water is underground, and they're heating up. They use that, or the lava's underground, and so they use that heat to start boiling and evaporating the water from the center and expelling it into the sky to create these clouds. And now the center has no water.
Okay. And then the vacuum came after that? Like, what's distributing it?
I'm gonna say clouds get heavy and then they fall.
Yeah, but now the clouds just now it's only raining over mountain.
I'm saying that well, the clouds can still float away from the mountains.
Yeah, but is it really going to make it all the way to the other end? Like the further away from the mountain, the less chance of rain you get.
Well, I suppose that could affect living conditions, maybe.
Yeah.
People choose and where people choose to live.
You don't want to live too close to the mountain because it's raining all the time. But if you live too far away, you never.
Well, I would say you have your gardens and everything that require more water closer to the mountain, and then you live further away from the mountain if you want drier land to build a solid foundation for a house on.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And it just never really gets to the edges. The edges on both sides are deserts.
Pretty much.
Yep. Awesome.
Well, would the nighttime side be a desert?
Well,
I mean, it's not getting water, or at least not much.
no, well, that's all a desert really needs, is it just doesn't get water. Like, there's no way for things to grow, and they die. It doesn't take heat to kill something. It's the lack of water, usually. And here's why that increases heat, is because then you don't have plants eating your carbon dioxide and converting them into the thing that then adds a layer over the earth to protect it from the sun getting in, and therefore the sun can get into that area better and therefore heats it up faster. And therefore that's why deserts are hot. It's because they don't have plants.
Okay. So, real quick, I want to just come up with some sort of conflict in this world. I want there to be a way for something to go wrong with the sun and the moon, because this is a massive part of the world. The moon needs to travel over to the day side and hang out there, or crash into the sun, or something.
Oh, we don't want to kill them.
Something has to happen. Something has to happen to drive the plot and cause conflict and set our hero off on an adventure. And this is too big of a world building element to not do anything interesting with.
We could Despicable Me it.
Where you just shrink the moon.
And then they pocket it, and then they bring it to the sun side, and then they flip it up, and it grows big again, and now they have the moon.
Okay, so what I'm thinking is now we've left the other side. Well, do they have stars? Because I'm thinking now we've left the other side in total darkness.
Yeah,
Also, they have stars and glowing plants. They have moon lilies.
Yeah, but they don't have. Yeah, they just don't have
they absorb the light from the moon, and then they emit their own light from that.
Yeah.
Kind of like glow in the dark, but extra bright. And
well,
so
and
they
then eventually they'll
make
start
it lanterns
fading.
to their homes. Eventually, they will fade, and so now we have our time limit.
Yes.
There we go.
Okay,
this
so
is getting interesting.
Okay, so no stars.
And
I
I
vote
feel
no
like
stars.
moon lilies are a real thing.
Yeah.
Or it sounds familiar.
I'll look it up. But I vote no stars because then they're just relying on their moon plants.
Okay.
You know, that makes it more intense. Because if you have stars, you're good, pretty much. A moon lily is a thing. They're very pretty.
Oh, I'm just looking it up. They are very pretty. Except I imagine them to be blue, not white.
They open up at sunset.
Oh, we could actually somewhat base them off this. Like as the moon disappears, the flowers just start to close and shrivel up.
Well, that now our timelines just went from like we got a couple months to oh no, we've got hours. I'm just saying.
I mean, I'd say like that maybe it does. Maybe it could last a couple months or weeks or however long your plot is. And as they are, and things seem to be fine. People may not even know how moon lilies work until the moon disappears, and they're like, "Oh, moon lilies absorb moonlight. Who could have guessed?" And without that, they're starting to fade and shrivel up and die. And when they see them start to close, they're like, "Oh, we've got a time limit." And suddenly, what was like maybe not a huge hurry, suddenly like we gotta get this done ASAP.
Yeah.
Or else everyone is living in darkness.
Did you know?
And then at that point, it's like you have a big moment where it's like maybe they do fade and die, and then people from the daytime they come to save the day by bringing torches.
Torch.
I don't know. That's just what came to my mind. That would be their immediate source of light is torches, lanterns. And maybe there would have to be some sort of conflict between the two sides. Like one is maybe blaming the other for whatever's going wrong in the sky, and then at the end, maybe there's like this one character that starts trying to unify the sides and says, "We have to go help the moon people," and then they bring them sunlight in the form of lanterns. So, and that's how you get fire. You can't light a fire normally in this world. It has to come from the sun, and so they bring them lanterns.
Yeah, but now you still have the issue of, like, those could go out without being powered by the sun.
Okay, but maybe the sun lasts longer, or maybe the sun gets destroyed later, so they have more time. And it's like this moment of this spark of hope, where it's like, hey, we still have time to save the day! And then they go save the day. Like, this could be like a literal darkest hour moment, where it's like everything looks like they've lost. It's like, no, we have no light. And then this one side character, or maybe the Lancer in the 5 group, I think it's called 5-man band. It's like has to change heart or something. It's like, I've got people here, and they go and they bring lanterns, and they say that they still have time, and they're no longer living in darkness, or they have a second chance, and they go and bring back the sun and moon to what they were. How you do that, I don't know. You know, how do you get a sun and moon back?
Okay, I know. I don't know why, but I got Dragantopia from listening to you talk about that.
Dragantopia?
It's this way too long of a movie, to be honest, but it's really good. Thing, and they have this these rocks that protect them from the carnivoric dinosaurs. And they're starting to go out, so the light's going out and fading from them, and they have to get new ones, and like they have that whole, oh no, the light's almost out, and it's all gone, and we're all about to get eaten by the carnivoric dinosaurs. Everyone panic! And then the characters come in with a new one, and they save the day, and they get to, and using this one stone, they're able to relight the others somehow.
Dinotopia, that is different than Dragantopia.
Did I say Dragantopia? I meant Dinotopia. My bad. I don't know where I got dragons from when I meant dinosaurs. That happens in it once you get to hour like 3.5. But there you go.
That's 4 hour. This is a mini series.
Yeah, but like we own it in movie form, so it's like a 4-hour movie. There's also books.
You know, we're very off topic.
We are. I want the books. Anyways. What were we building? Flat worlds?
Flat world, something about the moon. The sun and moon. How do we get the sun and moon back once they're destroyed?
We've destroyed them. I forgot that. I thought we just shrunk them.
Yeah, it's kind of important that figure out a way to bring them back.
The power of friendship. This sounds like a job for void people somehow. I don't know how they could do it.
I mean, we could make it so that it's something like the moon and the sun and moon. Maybe they are powered by a harmony between people, and the reason that they stay on two different sides of the world is because one side is harmonious with itself, and the other side is harmonious with itself. But then maybe some people find a way to start traveling between the two different sides,
Yeah.
and when that happens, a conflict occurs. Maybe it's like from different cultures interacting with each other, and they don't understand each other, and they get into fights, and they start feuding, and it gets to a point where
The sun and moon now want to
become
fight.
unstable, and they start moving, and they crash into each other, and start dying. But then when people unite again, it's just like, hey, bring forth the torches and the lanterns, and they start helping each other. The sun and moon can come back together.
Aw.
And then they start orbiting the Earth properly until the next World War occurs. Okay, but I want to make it clear, if anybody's going to write this, make sure that it has to be an astronomically large amount of people fighting and causing disharmony. Because if it's like just a small handful of people are being mean to each other, and then that causes the sun and moon to go haywire, that means that people can't have arguments anymore, and people should be allowed to get angry every once in a while. It has to be like, you guys gotta have both sides, like pretty much everyone feuding.
Honestly, though, I think the real struggle about this, and I can't believe I'm the one who's going to bring up My Little Pony, is not having the new My Little Pony movie ending for this world. Don't have all of a sudden they're all Gucci gory and they're having a great time when 5 seconds ago they were in war.
Funny thing, I was just about to bring up My Little Pony because I had a complaint about this Make Your Mark special that they recently released, where they made it so that you can't argue anymore in this world. Like a small argument where it's just like one character shouts at another. Any character, any pony in the world shouts at another one. Suddenly magic momentarily glitches and disappears, and Pegasi will start falling from the sky. And I'm like, you're literally saying that you can't ever have an argument again.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah.
That special had a ton of other problems, but like that was a big one that really bothered me.
Yeah.
The special was not good. Don't watch it. If you even are interested, if you have any interest in My Little Pony, don't watch it. It's bad. Unless you just like cute characters being wholesome and having fun together. If that's all that you need to have a good time, go ahead and watch it. You'll probably enjoy it.
Yeah, true. But yeah, let's not have that type of ending. Instead, let's have it. I don't know how. It's really hard when you add tons of people to make fixing wars, but like at the same time, Earth has had peace. You know, we have times of big wars like World War I and World War II, but afterwards we had peace, quotation marks around it. So, and this is a smaller world than our world, so maybe it's a bit more possible. And also, you know, it's fairy tale.
I think it's easier to achieve world peace in a smaller world.
Yeah. Also, it's a fairy tale world,
it's more like
and we want it
trying
more.
to achieve peace in your city.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. It's a small world after all. But yeah, the thing that something that My Little Pony Generation 4 did, Friendship is Magic, was they actually had a system where if there was enough fighting and hatred, it basically it caused Wendigos to appear, which would bring with them snowstorms and ice and freeze everything over. And but it was only going to happen if enough ponies were fighting. Like they had to be borderline going to war for this sort of thing to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like ponies could still have arguments and fight and disagree and all that, and nothing. it has to be like thousands of ponies about to go to war sort of levels.
And that makes sense to me.
Yeah, and I think that's the sort of system that we should have in this world. Because, like, it helps, it makes it for such a great story by the end, too, where they realize that they had gone too far and their feuding, like, and their fighting was purposeless and they shouldn't be doing that. They can come together and respect differences, and but it has the potential to be a really, really great story.
Yeah, they just have to, do it right. Take your time with it. And that's, yeah, because those things, they just can't happen instantly. You might want them to. It might seem like, oh, it makes the friendship seem more magical and stuff if you have it end instantly. But that's just, you gotta work for it. Your characters have to work for it. The world has to work for it. And trust me, your reader, your characters, everyone will feel more rewarded if you have them work for it.
Yeah, and while we're talking, I just realized that what we did was actually, what we just built with the story and everything, is actually something similar that happened in My Little Pony G4, where they actually did this right, where the Wendigos had destroyed everything, all seemed lost, and then these like 3 ponies that were about to be frozen to death, from 3 different tribes, realized they weren't so different, they could get along, they could be friends, and suddenly, like, Wendigos have nothing to feed on anymore, and they are defeated with like a giant fiery heart. In short,
Yeah.
there's more to it than that. But if I'm going to give you an image, they were defeated by a giant flaming purple heart.
Okay then. Whatever works for you, I guess. Or doesn't work for you, as the case might be.
Yeah, I mean, in this instance, it actually worked.
Oh, that's good. As long as it works. It can be weird, but
yeah, it can be weird. It actually makes sense, like in context and everything. But that's actually how you do it right. We basically just did the same thing with the world that we just built. That's what happened in My Little Pony, and we told you how to not do it with the new My Little Pony.
yeah.
And also, this world was largely inspired by Moon Guardian of the Moon.
I don't know.
You know, that movie with the galloping temple that we were talking about
I
before?
wanted to watch
Like, I just had,
that.
like, the day... Yeah, because the idea of the day and night I had
Yeah.
in the beginning with different sides. That I came up with, but then later on with the moon and stuff getting destroyed, that is another thing that happens in that movie. And there were some other things, but most of, like, a lot of this it just screams Moon Guardian of the Moon. But only the starting point was based off it. Then we just sort of, like, did some more world building that was also kind of similar to it. They're still 2 totally different worlds, just so you know.
Definitely.
And, like, yeah, I think we got something good here. So... Yeah,
Yeah,
go
I'm gonna
watch
go with
Dinotopia, Moon Guardian of the Moon, and My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, not a new generation, not making art.
No, you should watch the new movie so you know what not to do. That's why we watch
I mean, if you want an example of what not to do, go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
It had some good stuff. The movie had some positive elements in it.
Sure.
Not enough. It had some good character moments and animation, and all that fun stuff, but make your mark when it had, like, no redeeming qualities. It was that bad.
Makes me want to watch it more, though. Knowing that's awful.
I have an entire review on it, and I barely covered just a tiny fraction of its problems.
Yeah, but I do think we're getting distracted to the point where I think it's because we're kind of done with the world.
I think so.
I think today was a simple day. It was just, we just wanted to play around a little. Anyways, say goodbye.
Okay, bye, guys.